What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Earlier this week, I had a really frustrating time. I was frustrated because I had a doctor's appointment and I wasn't able to make it. And the reason why I brought that up is because something that's really been on my mind and on my heart lately is my health. I haven't been able to take care of it the best way that I can. Having certain frustrations and aches that I feel like I shouldn't have, and just things that agonize me sometimes. But I missed that appointment because I was trying to balance certain things in my life. And that's where I feel like I'm at in my life, trying to balance every single thing. And I was angry at myself because I was basically telling myself, you're not doing enough. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not excelling in this area. And I feel like this is a problem with a lot of us. We all have an area or multiple areas where we're just not excelling at. And the more you don't excel in those areas, the more frustrated you get. So for me, I know health is primary. But with my schedule, with everything going on, the people that I invest in, the people I spend time with, work, all these things that I do, it's tough to always put health number one, always take care of yourself the best. I hear tons and tons of influencers, tons of people talking about you have to get 8 hours of sleep, you have to take care of yourself, and that's all great, that's all good. But how many of us really take care of ourselves all the time? How many of us can say that we're honestly excelling in our health, our fitness, work, school, YouTube, whatever the case may be? There's always going to be areas in your life that you're going to lack in. And this is what I was talking to a friend about. I was telling him my frustrations, how I feel like I'm not taking care of myself enough, how I'm frustrated with the pain that I deal with in my stomach, in another area that's more private. Just thinking to myself, why do I have to deal with this pain? Why do I got to go through this? And why do I keep beating myself up for not doing enough? And I remember him telling me he goes through the same thing as well. And I remember him telling me, you're not always going to excel in every area of your life. And I think it would be very freeing for a lot of people who are listening to know that you're not going to excel at every area in your life. There's going to be an area that you're going to lack in. And I think a lot of the pressure and the frustration I was feeling is just comparing myself. I know another area is the gym that I haven't been able to go to. I haven't been able to work hard enough in with work, with the hours I put in. I recently started becoming a youth leader and spending time there every week. And I see a lot of people, they have the bodies that they want. My girlfriend is a fitness freak. There's so many people I look around on TV, whatever the case may be, and I'm like, I want to be more like that. But I realize that everybody's life is different. Not everybody has the same life. Not everybody has the same job where they can work around their schedule. And not everybody just sits on their butt. Like, it's okay not to max out on every single area of your life. You're not always going to do that. And when he said that to me, it just, when he told me that it's okay not to excel in every area, I realized that it comes down to priorities. A lot of people always like to mention how they're always happy and they have it all together and you should live life on your terms, etc., etc. But as a follower, of Jesus, as a Christian, I realized that it's not about living life on your terms. It's about living life on God's terms, doing things that He wants you to do. And if you're doing things that God wants you to do, some areas of your life are going to lack. But you can still have impact. You can still do so much. When I think about the Bible and I think about someone who did so much in the New Testament, who wrote so many books, who did great, great things for Jesus, I think about the Apostle Paul. I think about everything that he did. And I highly doubt that he was able to take care of his health. I highly doubt that he was able to get 8 hours of sleep every night, being in prison, being persecuted, trying to advance the gospel. I'm going to read from 2 Corinthians 11. The context of this is just Paul talking about the super apostles, basically the people who are trying to water down the gospel and just make it seem like there's something other than Jesus to the gospel. There's something other than Jesus to what we're to talk about and live for. And he's mentioning how they were gaining so many followers and they were so popular. They had it all together, quote unquote. And he says in verse 23, are they servants of Christ? And he talks about, I can easily brag about what I've been through. He says, I am more, I have worked much harder, been in prison more frequently, been flogged more severely, and been exposed to death again and again. 5 times I received from the Jews the 40 lashes minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was pelted with stones. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I spent a night and a day in the open sea. I have been constantly on the move. I have been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from my fellow Jews, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger in everything. And when you really think about that, all he was going through, all Paul had to deal with, you think he could excel in every area of his life? And when I read that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Because I realized life is about prioritizing what matters most. Life is about living for the calling God has put in your heart. Life is about not trying to be perfect, not trying to have it all together. Don't get me wrong, it's important to take care of your health. It's important to do fitness-like things. But if you want to do great things for Christ, great things for God, some areas of your life are going to lack. I remember watching an interview with Layla Ali. She was talking about her dad, Muhammad Ali. She was talking about how he excelled in life, obviously. He was an icon. He was a legend. Everybody knows who Muhammad Ali is. He's on shirts. Made a movie about him. But she talked about how although he was this figure, at home, he wasn't actually able to be that Muhammad Ali that everybody thought he was. And she didn't mean any shade or disrespect by it. She was just saying that if you're going to be that kind of figure in the world and people are going to look to you, some areas of your life are just going to lack. He didn't have all the time to be there for her or her mom all the time, or family, whatever the case may be. And that's just how it is. And me as a competitor, I wanna be a loving boyfriend. I want to be the best son. I want to be the best servant of Christ. I want to love people as much as I can, but I cannot be the best at every single thing. Some areas of my life are going to lack sometimes. And in this ultra hyped competitive world, I think we need to understand that as long as we have our priorities set, on loving people and being followers of Christ, and doing the best that we possibly can, asking for his help and guidance, that it's okay to lack in certain areas. It's okay not to have it all together, because everybody has a different life. And if I think that you allow that to sink into your heart, into your soul, into your mindset, I think it will free you to know that as long as you're excelling in the areas that matter most, that's all that really matters. Going back to the conversation I was having with my friend, he was telling me, as long as you love people, as long as you're relational, as long as you're spending time with people, and as long as you love God, that's all that really matters. A lot of us make it so much more than it really is. You're not going to hit the nail on the head on every single category of your life. If you're a mom listening to this, you're not always going to be able to spend time with your kids 24/7. You may have to work, you may have bills. But the time that you do spend with them, you can make it impactful. You may be a person that wants to go to the gym, and you see someone putting videos on Instagram, having this perfect body, going 4 or 5 times a week to the gym. You don't know what that person is like with other people. That person may not be a loving person. That person may even be a very selfish person. Think about the time that you're spending with people that they may not be spending with people. Putting themselves first constantly. A lot of people that live life on their own terms, they never do anything that takes sacrifice. And that's something that really has sunk into me. It's that people who portray that they have these lives, people that portray they have it all together, they're lacking in the areas that matter most. And that's loving people, that's investing in people, that's spending time with people. That's stopping everything they're doing to help somebody, to give somebody a ride. It's not always about going to the gym. It's not always about working on your basketball game 5 times a week. No, sometimes it takes sacrifices. Sometimes it takes living your life ultimately for the approval of Jesus Christ. And that shouldn't be a sometimes thing. That should be an all the time thing. So I really want to encourage you, if you feel like you're lacking in certain areas of your life, put things in perspective. Understand that everybody's life is different. Everybody works different hours. Everybody has different families. Everybody has different struggles. Don't compare yourself. Look at what you're doing, not at what you're not doing. Look at who you are and not on who you're not. Just keep in mind that the more you compare yourself, the more miserable you're going to be. But the more you prioritize your life and focus on what matters, and the more you live your life like Christ, the more that love is going to flow into your heart, the more joy and peace you're going to have, and the more that's going to overflow in abundance. To the point that you're not going to worry about what you're not doing. You're not going to worry about the fact that you don't go to the gym 5 times a week. You're not going to worry about the fact that you don't work 50 plus hours a week, that you're not grinding and working hard all the time or hustling all the time. All that stuff is overrated. Because at the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, that's not what you're going to be thinking about. And that's not what you're going to have to answer to God about. You're going to answer to, did you sacrifice? Did you love people? Did you invest time? Were you relational? Did you talk about your struggles? Were you open? Were you vulnerable? Trust and believe the people that you spend time with and the people that you make that effort for, they're going to appreciate that. So if you're lacking in certain areas of your life, like I am with my health, understand that those things need to be taken care of, but also understand that you're not always going to be perfect and that nobody in this world is perfect in every single area of their life. They're missing the mark somewhere, some way. So find peace in knowing that when you prioritize your life and that you seek God first, everything you ever need, everything you're really searching for, and everything that really matters will be added to you. Take care, guys, and God bless.